Hi, Founder fans. Jason here. Welcome to Founder of the Day Friday Night Trivia. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for tuning in throughout this week, these last 2 weeks, where I've started experimenting going live, and I'm not going to ride it too hard. You know what some of the changes are, but those of you who are new, we've done a bunch of interviews, and the feedback has been pretty good so far, so thank you guys for watching. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We have a bunch more interviews coming up. I do want to note, yesterday's video about Ben Franklin, not my favorite. I can't get the feel of Thursdays down yet. For whatever reason, I talk about all these random people, no problem. But when I get into the weeds on a big guy like Ben Franklin, I don't know. I don't know why. It just didn't sit right with me. But I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you learned something. Anyway, let's play some trivia. That's why you guys are here. As always, we are going to do a few things. First, we're going to play a little warm-up game together. We'll do one quick trivia question, play a little warm-up game on our usual, and I will pull it up here, where we bounce over here, and we look at... we'll go through those questions, and then we'll do more trivia questions, yada, yada, yada. Thank you so much for coming. So, first of all, if you guys are ready to do a warm-up, actually, before we get started, I do believe I may have forgotten to decide what game to play. We do this one. We always close. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Ginger. Thank you guys for coming so much. We always close with this one. Last week, I believe we got 164, if I'm not mistaken. We will end on that, but I forgot to pick a new quiz for this week. So I'll tell you what. Why don't we go to the bottom? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna type in American. Let's type in Founding Fathers. Whoa, it's all over the place. Lots of advertisements. Let's see what pops up, and you guys can let me know which one you want to do while we do our first question. How's that sound? Do something a little different today. Let's see. We got a Founding image quiz. 9 U.S. founders. Oof. John Adams' last words. These all look like a lot of fun. 25 facts about James Monroe. Well, that's very specific. Quick Picks Declaration of Independence drafters. That one will be pretty easy. Let's go. Well, you know what? What about this one? Why don't we do Founding Fathers of the United States? If this is the game I think it is, it should have some images. And we'll look at them and we'll go that way. Right. You know, oh, nope, there's only 7. No, we will name the 7. Let's see. Why, oh, which founder said what? That one looks like a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do this one. Again, I apologize. There's always something I forget. Okay, looks like 6 questions. So we'll do that one in a second, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to pop myself back up here. Again, while you guys are popping in, I'm going to ask a question and let you guys think about it. We are going to start off with one of these, what do they call, what happened here cards. Clearly I'm a little off my game today, I'm sorry. Okay, so first question to get warmed up. What happened here? I know it's hard for you to see with my lights, but it is in Newtown, New York, which is present-day Elmira, August 29th, 1779. What happened in Elmira, New York, August 29th, 1779, then called Newtown? That's kind of a hint. While you guys are submitting guesses, if there's anyone with the guess, I do want to give a big shout out to the Patriots who support me on Patreon. This channel is... I've invested a lot into it, and I really appreciate you guys helping me offset the cost. At this point, I've made -$. On Founder of the Day. And there are still more things I want to invest in. I want to get a stream deck, which will help me just change screens easier instead of wasting spots on my keyboard. And I am hoping to... My free emails are still free for you, but I just finally broke 400 subscribers. But that means I need to pay $20 a month now instead of $0. So if you guys want to help me support... help me offset these costs, please check out the Patreon page. Here are some answers. I'm a little, for some reason, even though I'm on low frequency, a little faster than you guys. And yes, Matt is correct with the Battle of Newtown. Ashley is correct with the Battle of Newtown, but not Elmira. The Battle of Newtown, which was a culmination, and if I'm not mistaken, yes, of General Sullivan, the Sullivan-Clinton campaign. In 1779, Generals John Sullivan and James Clinton brought a massive amount of soldiers through upstate New York, essentially destroying the Native American villages, arguably in not in revenge, but to stop the attacks from the Native Americans on the frontier settlements. Again, upstate New York was the frontier at that point, and there was the Sullivan Clinton campaign went through. As they approached, most Native Americans would run away because most of the able-bodied Native Americans were fighting in the war, so it was mostly the women and children who did not just want to be what they assumed would be murdered by the Americans, although that is would probably not have happened, but most of the villages were empty and they just got burned. But in Newtown, now modern-day Elmira, there was a conflict, a full-scale battle, and as with most of the Sullivan Clinton campaign, it did not go well for the Native Americans. So that is a fun start. Thank you guys for starting with me. I have this one hair that is killing me in my reflection. I'll just be a little bit vain. Thank you guys for playing. Let's get into it. Let's play this fun one over here. Why don't we pop back over here? Does not look perfect for me. We are going to play this quiz. It is, can you pick which founding father said what? Now we have 5 minutes. It says 6 questions, so I am a little bit ahead of you guys, but let's do it. Which founder said, the government is not reason, it is not eloquence, it is force. Like fire, it is a dangerous servant and fearful master. Never for a moment should it be left to irresponsible action. Which founders believe that? Matt, just one what? Just one hair? I know, it's this one. Which founder believed the government is not reason, it is not eloquence, it is a force? And I'll tell you what, I'm going to wait for 2 of you to give the same answer. We're running down on time here. So I can skip through them. So I will read through all of them. Ashley guessing Jefferson on the first one. Okay, the second one is going to be, I flung forward the flag of the country. Sure, that the people would press onward and defend. War of 1812. Again, I'm going to run through all of them. We'll go back to the first one. Science is my passion, politics my duty. Let the human mind loose. It must be loosed. It will be loose. Superstition and despotism cannot confine it. The sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged for among old parchments of musty records. They are written, as with a sunbeam, in the whole volume of human nature, by the hand of divinity itself, and can never be erased or obscured by mortal power. Lastly, our Constitution is an actual operation. Everything appears to promise that it will last, but in this world nothing is certain but death and taxes. One's a bit of a hint. Okay, so we're back to this one. Now, who said the government is not reason? It is not eloquence. It is a force. Like fire, it is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. Never for a moment should it be left to irresponsible action. Okay. All right, this is tough. So Matt coming through with a whole bunch. So the answers are Adams, Hamilton, Jefferson, Washington, Franklin, Madison that we have to choose from. I see for this one, Ashley had said Jefferson. Ginger said George Washington. Who are we thinking for this one? The government is not reason. It is not eloquence. It is a force. Like fire, it is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. Never for a moment should it be left to irresponsible action. Do you have any more guesses on this one? It's a little tougher than just saying names, huh? Matt coming out with Hamilton. Okay, I have different answers for this one from everyone. And we're down to 2 minutes. Well, I've sure cornered myself this week, haven't I? Okay. Ashley said Jefferson first. So I am going to grab at Jefferson for this one. And that is incorrect. It is not Jefferson. Okay, it fares to the next one. Who said, I flung forward the flag of the country, sure that the people would press onward and defend. War of 1812. That's kind of a hint. War of 1812. Give me a name. We still got all of them. Adams, Hamilton, Jefferson, Washington, Franklin, Madison. The big 6. Matt coming at us with a Madison real quick. I'm going to think it's Madison because War of 1812. Nailed it. Whammy. Who said, science is my passion, politics my duty? All right, you guys agreed on Madison. Good, because that worked out. Science is my passion, politics my duty. Ashley coming at us with Franklin. Okay, I'm gonna ride with it. Oop, whammy, no. Unfortunately not. Who said, like the human mind, let the human mind loose. It must be loose. It will be loose. Superstition and despotism cannot confine it. Matt coming at us with Jefferson. Let's see. Whammy. No, sorry. Not the best one. Okay, real quick. Who said the sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged among for old parchments or musty records? They are written, as with the sunbeam, in the whole volume of human nature by the hand of divinity itself, and can never be erased or obscured by mortal power. I'm not sure if your last Adams, Matt, was trying to get ahead on this question. I'm waiting very patiently. We have 2 more left. Adams. We're going with Adams. No, whammy. Okay, who said death and taxes? I can't highlight it for some reason. Who said nothing is certain but death and taxes? Or I see Hamilton. Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm going to click on Franklin real quick because death and taxes was famously Benjamin Franklin. Okay, guys. Obviously, that wasn't the best game to play. We can run through and see who did what, though. John Adams said, "Let the human mind loose. It must be loosed. It will be loose. Superstition and despotism cannot confine it." Hamilton said, the sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged among old parchments or musty records. They are written, as with the sunbeam, in the whole volume of human nature by the hand of divinity itself. It can never be erased or obscured by mortal power. Thomas Jefferson, "Science is my passion, politics my duty." Excuse me, that makes sense. Seems like a Franklin thing to say, but no, Jefferson gets all the best quotes. George Washington, "Government is not reason, it is not eloquence. It is a force. Like fire, it is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. Never for a moment should it be left to irresponsible action." Yes, Ashley, you're right. The long quote we should have assumed was Hamilton. This is the only quote I recognized outright. Our Constitution is in actual operation. Everything appears to promise that it will last. But in this world, nothing is certain but death and taxes. And then little Jimmy Madison, "I flung forward the flag of the country, sure that the people would press onward and defend." That gives you that War of 1812 hint. Okay, guys, so, getting off to a rocky start today. I was really doing good on the interviews, and then just the second half of the week, I'm losing it. I apologize. I assure you, on Sunday when we do our weekend review, everything will be honky-dory, fine and dandy. Why don't we read through the cards? There's not a lot I can screw up on the cards. Oh, man, I scared myself. I thought I ended the stream for a second there. Oh, man, I am not. Can't win them all. So, let's go to Let's start out with the Constitution cards. For those of you who have not played before, these cards are actually questions about the United States Constitution. This one question. So it might not be particularly for the American Revolution. It could expand anywhere up to today, or I guess, when was it printed? 3 or 4 years ago. So let me know your answers in the comments. When a high school requires its student to perform mandatory community service, doesn't that violate the 13th Amendment's prohibition against involuntary servitude? When a high school requires its students to perform mandatory community service, doesn't that violate the 13th Amendment's prohibition against involuntary servitude? No, Matt coming out with no. I will say it's the way the question is asked. It's asked when it happens, which indicates it happens. Which, if it happens, means it has to be constitutional. I would assume, and the answer is right. Yeah, Ashley, exactly. They're still doing it. How could it? No, the Supreme Court considered this matter in Steyer v. Bethlehem Area School District in 1993, so it can come pretty close to today, concluded that a high school community service requirement does not constitute involuntary servitude. A growing number of school districts thereafter added community service to their graduation requirements. Gee whiz, thanks a lot, said all the high school students who wanted to go home and play with their friends. Although I guess by high school you don't call it playing with your friends anymore. But you're a founder of the day. You could play with your friends at any age, as we're doing right now. We are now going to move on to these trivia, the American Revolution trivia card games from Professor Noggins. Today, we are looking at famous battles. Now, there are 6 questions on this card. 3 of them are student for younger ages. The game is ages 7 and up, so I would say younger than teenagers. And then scholars for everyone else. So, question the first. Who won the Battle of Saratoga? The British or the Patriots? And I am about 8 seconds ahead of you guys today, despite being on very ultra low latency. So I'm choppy for no reason, because I'm still 8 seconds ahead. So this is me stalling and giving you a chance to tell me, who won the Battle of Saratoga? The British or the Patriots? I guess the British are over here and the Patriots are over here. Matt, American is not one of the answers, though I understand your meaning. Fair enough. Variety is the spice of life, so please feel free to use more flowery language and pronounce it correctly. Matt and Ashley, I'm waiting to see if Ginger wants to throw in an answer. I know there are a few other people watching. Anyone else with an answer? Now's time. You know what, Ginger? I'm not good at the battles either. I only really started researching military history more in depth than what I had been when I started Founder of the Day a few years ago. I had cursory knowledge, though it is important to know the Battle of Saratoga, because the Patriots did win the Battle of Saratoga, and it, I know there's dozens of battles and hundreds of skirmishes, but the few you should know, Lexington and Concord started the war. The Battle of Saratoga turned the tide of the war in favor of the Americans because the French started helping us after that, and the Battle of Yorktown won the war. Those are the 3 highest level battles. I wonder if you guys, Ashley, Matt, everyone watching, if you agree with me in that assessment. There are, of course, many other important battles. Arguably, you could put the battles of Trenton and Princeton in there, because that turned the tide of morale early in the war when we didn't think we were winning. But I don't want to get too off track. Question the second. The Battle of Saratoga occurred in which... The Battle of Saratoga occurred in the northern woods of what colony? They definitely, it is one of the ones that teaches. The French did help before Saratoga. That is a good point, Matt. There were definitely generals coming over here, and the French were quietly helping us under the rug. Is that a saying? Under the radar, they were definitely sending us some support. But I guess the best way to say it is the Battle of Saratoga let the French support us openly in the war, which essentially meant they declared war on Britain. Or at least they knew Britain would be declaring war on them, making it a world war in essence, because there were battles of the American Revolution around the world. Kind of. Everyone say New York. Yes, New York, my home state. New York, just not too far north of Albany, 40 miles north of Albany, New York. Not my home city, but my home state. Yes, New York has a lot of Revolutionary War to it. It is often overlooked how important New York was to the Revolutionary War. Okay, and now here's another question. Who won the Battle of Long Island? The British or the Patriots? The British are on my left today, apparently, and stage left, and the Patriots are on the right. Who won the Battle of Long Island, the British or the Patriots? And how about this? Secondary question, what's another name for the Battle of Long Island? Yeah, Matt, you're right. Like I said, I'm glad you pointed out. It's one of the fun things about this, about going live. One of the reasons I started to go live more and more is because thank you for helping me define that. I did kind of breeze past it and imply, not purposely, that the French didn't help at all. They definitely helped. They did send us cannons, powder, clothing, just a wide variety of necessities for an army to help you win a war. To be fair, the Spanish, again, certain companies in Spain, with like kind of the king's like blissful ignorance, so to speak, definitely helped. Again, but it was but the British weren't fighting the French. So after Saratoga, when the British, when the French were like, okay, we acknowledge they're a country, Britain was like, great, now we got to go to war with France all over the world. And it was very much important. Furthermore, they actually sent the French Navy to help, which would come in pretty handy down at Yorktown. Let's see. The British. Yes, the British won the Battle of Long Island. And yes, Ashley, it was the Battle of Brooklyn. Brooklyn and Queens are actually technically on the Long Island, often overlooked. That part of Long Island is actually New York City. Whammy. Good job, team. Now we're going to bounce over to the Scholar section. Okay, first question over here. The Patriot loss at the Battle of Brandywine allowed British troops to occupy what city? Let me ask it again without being so silly, and then I'll ask it a third time being super silly. The Patriot loss at the Battle of Brandywine allowed British troops to occupy what city? And now the silly version. The Patriot loss at Brandywine allowed the British to occupy what city? Okay, I don't know. I make myself laugh. You guys, I'm assuming you come to watch me laugh at myself because, that's what my family does. All right, and I see correct answers coming in over here. Yeah. The loss at Brandywine more or less allowed the British to march into Philadelphia and occupy it. At that very time, the Continental Congress was fleeing town. As we will talk about at the Week in Review, because I wrote about the cities of the Revolution this week, and I have beard in my face. Yeah, great job. And they would occupy it for a while and then just kind of leave. Very nice of them. Next question. Ooh, this will be fun. Near the start of the war, Ethan Allen and Benedict Arnold led the capture of what fort on the shores of Lake Champlain? Near the start of the war, Ethan Allen and Benedict Arnold led the capture of what fort on the shores of Lake Champlain? I'm not going to do silly voice again. That's enough. It's on the internet for everyone to witness once and forever. So, more silly voice next week. Founder of the day. Okay, and it looks like there's just 3 of you guys playing today, so we're going to run with it. Yeah, it's the Battle of Fort Ticonderoga. Fort Ticonderoga always seemed like the most strategically important fort of the war. That was everyone's belief on both sides during the war. In hindsight, it really wasn't. Every time it was taken with relative ease, and there was never that up and down the Hudson ploy that was floated by the British. Although General Burgoyne definitely wanted that to happen. And if you want to learn more about Fort Ticonderoga and the Battle of Saratoga, again, Michael Troy came on last week to the show to talk for a little bit. I highly recommend his show, especially what it was last, I think, like September and October. He was talking about these battles, which is super important. Matt, Crown Point. So Crown Point was Seth Warner. So kind of yes, but I definitely want to give a shout out to Seth Warner when you bring up Crown Point, because in super brief, Benedict Arnold from Connecticut and by the Massachusetts militia to go take Fort Ticonderoga. So he went by himself without an army to do that. And on the way, he was fortunate enough to meet the Green Mountain Boys, who were led by Ethan Allen and Seth Warner. Benedict Arnold and Ethan Allen did not get along at all. Benedict Arnold didn't get along with a lot of people, but they somehow managed to work together and very easily take an undermanned Fort Ticonderoga. And from there, Seth Warner took a section of the Green Mountain Boys and went and took Crown Point, which was also taken very easily. But there was a significant number of cannons at Crown Point that were moved to Ticonderoga that were then hauled by General Knox all the way down to Boston for the final evacuation of Boston and the fortification of Dorchester Heights. So yes, Crown Point was also very important. But Crown Point is mostly Seth Warner. Was he ordered to go by the other guys? Maybe. But, he did the hard work of going. So, shout out Seth Warner. Last question on this card. After the British suffered terrible losses, why were the Patriot forces... I'm sorry. Let me try again. After the British suffered terrible losses, why were the Patriots forced to retreat during the Battle of Bunker Hill? So the question to kind of sum it up is, even though the British suffered really heavy losses at Bunker Hill, why did the Patriots still have to retreat? See what they're going for here. Patriots killed a whole lot of British people at the Battle of Bunker Hill, but still had to retreat. Why? Excuse me. Anyone? Stalling for time. Drink my coffee. This is a tough question, and so their answer, the answer on the card, I will say, is right. Yeah, it's right. So Matt echoes what the card says, that they ran out of ammunition, which is true. And it's hard to win a gunfight if you can't fire the guns. Granted, these guns had bayonets on them. The Americans, the British were storming up a hill, and they took extremely heavy losses. As Matt said, the Patriots did run out of ammunition, and it was Breed's Hill, not Bunker Hill. But the Patriots end up leaving because they don't have ammunition, but also because even though the British took significantly heavier forces, they were coming. It would have been hard to stop them, probably even with ammunition, although I guess that is an assumption on my part and on some, I don't want to say alternate histories, but assessments that I've read. But yes, primarily they ran out of bullets and retreated. Probably a wise move. All right, let's go to this last card right here. Okay, what happened here? Now, that's not America. That's England, if my fingers are out of the way. Well, we got a question. Couldn't the Patriots have taken the guns and ammo from the British? Well, they would have had to run down the hill to get the guns from the British, and I presume that leaving your fortified position and running downhill into the enemy would have been very difficult for them to have gotten the weapons and gotten back and then, loaded them in the old-timey muzzle loading way. As we discussed with that amazing interview with Ethan from the National Muzzle Loading Rifle Association. Thank you, Ethan, for coming. But what happened here? That's Great Britain. What happened off the Yorkshire coast, England, September 23rd, 1779. Yorkshire. Yorkshire? Just so you know, it is on the mid-northeastern coast of Great Britain. I guess it's the northern tip of England and just south of Scotland. Off the Yorkshire coast, England, September 1779. Usually I want to default to, and I'm kind of stalling for you guys to put something in here. See, Matt says John Paul Jones attack. I usually want to default to John Paul Jones. And probably on a trivia card where there's only a limited amount of cards, it's probably John Paul Jones. Though we just talked to Michael Troy about Gustav Cunningham, and now I want to say that. And I always want to give a shout out to Lambert Wicks, although I think he stayed on the West Coast. I don't think he actually hooked around. But let's find out. It's probably John Paul Jones. In one of the most famous American naval battles, Captain John Paul Jones, commanding the USS Bon Richard, defeated and captured the 50-gun British frigate Serapis, commanded by Captain Richard Pearson. In 1778, Jones struck fear through Britain by attacking ports in northern England and Scotland. In September 79, When Jones's small squadron saw a large convoy guarded by the Serapis and the Countess of Scarborough, his other ships fled, leaving him to battle Serapis alone. After 2 of his 18-pound guns blew up, Jones rammed his ship into the frigate to board her, but his crew was repulsed by British gunfire. When asked to surrender, he shouted his famous line, "I have not yet begun to fight." The ships blasted and rammed each other for over 7 hours, pausing only to snuff fires that broke out on both ships. With Jones fighting on even as the Richard, putting out fires on both ships. With Jones fighting on, even as the Richard filled with water, Pearson surrendered. 2 days later, Jones abandoned his ship and sailed the Serapis to neutral Holland. That is a really interesting story, and I knew that, he's the one who said that famous line. I guess I had never read such an in-depth review of the particular battle, that they were just ramming each other and shooting it. I mean, if you're ramming, you're at really close range. That's super intense. That's amazing. I learn something new here all the time. Thank you guys for coming. Like and subscribe. We're going to keep playing. Let's see. About 32 minutes. And you know what? This is the end of the day. Let's start wrapping up by doing our amazingly tons of fun guessing of the game. Now, if you're new here, as Ashley wants me to put on a t-shirt, this game, the way we wrap up, we're just basically name all the American founders we can, though this game is specifically supposed to be founders who were part of the legislative branch. Now, it's not every member of the Continental Congress, though I wish it was. Instead, it's everyone who signed something important from the First Continental Congress, Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, Constitutional Convention delegates, or members of the first House of Representatives or United States Senate in 1789. It is 243 names. Last week, unless I'm mistaken, we got 164. I would like to see if we can get past that. Ashley really wants that shirt. Fair enough. I'm trying. I am trying to make without today's sponsor, Liberty & Co. Over there on the right, who's giving me all the stuff I've sent out. Again, I'm not sending any prizes this week. I'm trying to rework how we give out the prizes, because the same handful of people keep winning prizes, and you've gotten everything I have to give. So we're working on that, and I'm working with them on a new few ideas for some shirts and other products. So watch out for that. And you know what? I should pop over to their website real quick, because Liberty & Co. did just start selling coffees and teas among all their other tremendous merchandise, American Revolution related merchandise. So I'm giving it a big thing. Jay Burmis. Oh, Jason Burmis. Well, welcome to the team. Well, we're about to play a fun guessing game. If you want to name some American founders, Jay Burmis, name as many American founders as you can. You will probably start with what I like to call the Big Six, and the way we always start this particular game is I wait for you guys, since I'm a few seconds ahead, to start naming the Big Six. So go ahead, name the Big Six. And if you don't know what I mean by Big Six, I mean the founding fathers as they're traditionally named. The big names that have towns, city, councils, and everything else out there. And Burmis, Jay Burmis is a great friend of mine. I really appreciate everything he's done helping me learn how to run a YouTube channel. And Burmis, I will gladly, if I find out your new address somewhere in the Midwest, I'll send you a bunch of stuff. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, and the names are coming in. There we go. Let's see. Got to keep up. Washington, Adams, Hamilton, Franklin, Jay, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Bezos. All right, you keep your Barley, Burmis. You keep your modern politics to your own channel, bud. That's not what we do here. Bartlett, Barley. That's an interesting. And now I'm like spelling it wrong because I keep seeing Barley up there. Bartlett, Whipple, Thatcher, Tucker, Thornton. All right, good start. We're up to 18. We got up to 164 last time. Let's see when we do 170 this week. I think we get to 170. All right, here they come. Gwinnett, Carol, Hancock, Jennifer, Adams. Do we do Adams? Yep. Payne, as always, it's better to say Jerry. Jerry, are you, is it, you're going for Gary or Jerry. I get it. As always, it's better to say something twice than not at all. So even if you think someone may have said it, say it again. Just like Matt, who said Jerry twice. I knew what you were going for, bud. William Floyd from Long Island, one of my favorites. Hopkins, Ellery, Black, no black, other colors though. Ellery, did we just do Ellery? Yeah, white. Man, Matt and Ashley, you guys are like coming up with this. You're on the same page right now. I think we got Sherman, Rush, Harrison, Skyler. There it is, Ginger. Nice play. Hart, Brown, Gray. What about with an E? No. I think we got through all the colors. I think it's just white and brown. Hopkinson. There it is. Williams. Ashley, you like that trick? We got Williams. What comes next? Dickinson. Whipple, I think we got. Love the Whipple family. Huntington. Okay, up to 43. Pretty quick. Not bad. Livingston. And we're short a few people. There it is. Actually, Williamson. Got Williams. Williamson. Floyd. Flowers. I'm not sure what you're going there. Floyd. Floyd. No, we do. We did Floyd, though. Yeah. So, but that is how you spell it. Floyd. Right there. Okay. That's right. Spelling's not my MO either. Lee. That's at least 3 of them. Livingston. I think we just popped that in. Great job, guys. All right, yeah, we are down a few people. I haven't seen Troy pop in yet, or Misfit. So Hart, yeah, I think we got Hart. Lynch, so Morris, nice. It was going to be real tough for us today, but I think we could do it. Oh, I was going to sip my coffee, but I got a Lewis coming in. Lewis, that's right. Lewis Morris, also a founder. And Francis Lewis, both from New York, both signers. Reed. Matthews. There it is, Matt. That's right. We told you to remember Matthews last week. Well played. Ross. Smith, of course. Johnson. Clark. That's right, Ashley. John Stun. Right. You got to pair them together. That's the only way you remember. All right, we're at 70. Blount. Oh, we're going football players. Taylor. McKean. I was just watching. Oh, Witherspoon. Pinkney, Lawrence. Okay, so Ginger, we got Lawrence, but is there anything that sounds like that? With. Oh, I said with without even thinking about it. It's a lot of decades of calling him Wythe that I finally have gotten over. Now that I call him with. Okay, we said Lawrence, Mifflin. Lawrence, that's right, but it's not spelled like that. It's Lawrence. Lawrence, like Laura. I do Mifflin. I did, like Dunder Mifflin. Thank you, The Office. Huntington. I think we did Huntington already. Few, Gun, Pen. I'm going to do Huntington one more time. Just make sure, yeah. Okay. So there's, we got Gunn, and then there's someone else with the first name Gunning. What is his last name? Blair, Randolph, King, an R name from the South. There's more R names from the South. Really big one. Okay. Oh, gotta hear that. I'll be alright. Rutledge. There it is, Ashley. Yeah. Rutledge. You guys are getting pretty good at my hints. My hints, which in the first episode, Pendleton. Nice, that's at least 2. Pinkney. We did that. I remember having to spell it out. Ames, good one. Fisher Ames, great name. You know, my first episode, my hints were not flying, or the first trivia, my hints were not flying at all, but you guys are starting to catch on. Again, Gunning. Oh, Sullivan, good one. Dean, of course. Silas Dean. Undercover champion. Dean. Okay, you guys are really on the same page. This is great that you guys are thinking the same way. It means we're going to go far today. I mean, we're just 6 minutes in. We're almost at 100 already. You know, considered naming one of my kids Silas after Silas Dean, but found out that Justin Timberlake had a kid with that name, and I mean, I can't take a name from a famous person. Chase Henry, Mick Henry. That's a good way to remember it, Ashley. Look, you taught me one. Okay, amazing. Oof. Back cracking a little bit. Gotta sit up. Posture, bro. Posture. Okay, scroll through. Oh, I start scrolling, and what happened? People start writing. Butler. Pierce Butler. Unrelated to Franklin Pierce. I have looked into it. Tillman, absolutely. Cushing, good one. William Cushing, huge in the American creation. Good Hugh, is that what you're saying? Nice. I didn't even know that name, and I still managed to figure out what you're going for. I'm going to do Good Goo anyway, just because I like that name. Lewis, I think we did Lewis. Gadsden of the Don't Tread on Me flag fame. Rocking it. Great job, guys. Okay, now I'm going to take a sip. There's more. There are 139 more. Good you. Yeah, we got it. Okay, Cushing. I am a little bit ahead of you guys. We got Cushing. Good job, guys. You guys are on the same page. Because you might not be getting the streams at exactly the same time. So you're basically saying the same name at the same time. I think we did do Hart. Let's see. We need a declaration signer from Virginia. I'll give you one of Paca. We must have done Paca. Give you one of my hints for usually for Misfit is think salt. Think about salt companies. Chase. I think we did get Chase. Okay, tough. We got some signers of the Declaration of Independence. Hall. Did we do Hall? Nope. Got Hall. Good. Oh, Partridge. Man, good one, Matt. That's a name I would always forget. Ginger Morton. There it is. You got the salt. See, gout. You mean Grouts. Morton. You guys both got the. Wow. I'm really happy. I feel like if I have taught anyone anything with this channel, it's certain hints at remembering random founders' names. Hughes, good one. Joseph Hughes. Let's see. What have we got? We got, okay, from Virginia. There's at least two. Oh, Middleton. That's going to be at least two, right? Yeah. Think boring or flavorless. Okay, Goldsboro. That's a great one. Robert Goldsboro. Leonard? Whoa, I didn't. Who's that? Stone. Stockton. Bland. There it is, Ginger. You got it. Carroll is. Well, we already did it. Okay. There's probably at least two. Okay, we did do Lee. That's an important one. What other hints can I give? Football players. Legal guardian, and you're given custody from the state on a temporary basis. What's that? Also the last name of a football player. Middleton. I think we just did Middleton? Yeah. It's alright. Better to say it twice. Better to say it twice than none at all. Wilson. I missed Wilson. Can't miss Wilson. Foster. There it is, Ashley. Arian Foster. Was just listening to an interview with him today, actually. Really interesting guy. Let's see now. We have a lot of people. Let's see. Okay, Patriot leader at the Stamp Act Congress from Massachusetts. Oh, okay. Galloway. Okay, there was a, this might actually be two hints. One of the most famous writers, King. I think we did King. One of the most famous writers, one of the most famous female writers from the American founding, who wrote plays in favor of the Revolution and then would later write criticisms of the Constitution as an anti-federalist. One of the first women to publish under her own name. She is not the correct answer, but both her middle and last names, I believe, are correct answers. And when I say middle, I mean maiden. She kept her maiden name as her middle name. as was customary at the time. I was hoping this would be a really good hint. Warren, yes. Okay, well, I guess Warren is not a correct answer here. But what was her middle name? Or maiden name, I should say. Because at least two of her siblings are correct answers here. Humphreys, great one. Okay. 123. Okay, we need 41 more to... Mercy Warren. All right, Matt. Oopsie daisy, I clicked the wrong button. Let me come back here. I'm looking for Mercy Otis Warren. Okay, and Otis was only one answer, but yeah, both of her siblings were important. Three of her siblings were important. One of them passed away pretty early in the hostilities, though. Although not from, he was struck by lightning. That's a whole another conversation. Fitzsimmons, good one. Catholic signer of the Constitution. Rhodes. Okay, the first one works. Nice, Ginger. That's a good one. Grayson, William Grayson, did not like that Constitution, but was an inaugural senator anyway, and the first member of the U.S. Senate to pass away in office. We're doing really good considering it's just three of you answering these questions. I think we can definitely at least get to 150 if we keep it up. It's Theodoric Bland. New York. Okay. We've not done a bunch of the last names that start with D. That's a hit. Crane. There it is. Dalton. Andy Dalton. Not Andy Dalton. He was a football player. I want to give you hints without giving it away. Maybe sounds like a city in Ohio? Tucker. No. Davis? No. Sounds like a city in Ohio. Jones. Not a city in Ohio. Dyer. Good one. Did he have a beard? Only if he was cool, bro. Moore. Wait, did Dyer not work? Oh, we must have already done Dyer. Oops. Burmese. Come on, man. Name a founder. Come on. Name a random person from history. Sinixon. There is Misfit. We're just in time. We got 6 minutes left. We need you to start naming some signers of the Declaration that we haven't hit. Cleveland. Nope. Not the city I was talking about. As soon as I said name a city in Ohio. That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's a bunch of them. Muhlenberg. Dincomaty. I can't even... Is that a city in Ohio? Are you screwing with me again? Robinson. Misfit, you really are here just in time, because you're going to remember a bunch of... Dayton. There it is. Burmis, thank you for playing. Now, what if you add an R to that word somewhere? Right. Nope. DeHart. Good one, Matt. There it is, Burmis. Thank you for playing. Name some other football player. We've named most of the football player last names, actually. But it's a good hint. And unfortunately, a lot of the reason football players have the same last names is because their ancestors were slaves to some of the people we are naming. We should acknowledge that, because this is a history channel, and that is how history works. We did do Gunn, but there's a guy with the first name Gunning, whose last name we did not get yet. Collins, there's another football player. Nailed it. Right? Kerry Collins. Maybe I'm dating myself a little bit. Drayton, there it is. Ashley, nailed it. Nailed it. Okay, we got 5 minutes, and we had 164. Let's see if we can get 167 this time. So we get 30 more. Bedford, there it is. There it is. Amber, yeah, Gunning Bedford. Nailed it. Welcome to the team. Just in time. Literally playing superhero today. Misfit, just rock through what you got. We probably did a bunch of the ones when you weren't here, but that's okay. Better say them twice than not at all. We're missing the secretary to the Continental Congress. Who was secretary to the Continental Congress the whole time? Hayward, Hughes. We must have done Hughes. Hugs? Nope. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, secretary of the Congress. I know we know it. We get it every time. Who was this? Shouldn't technically be here because he was paid and not elected, but he was there at the Continental Congress the whole time. We did get used. That's okay, Misfit. Like I said, we've probably said a bunch of them, but you probably know a bunch. We don't remember Thatcher. Did we do Thatcher? We must have. Yeah, we must have. We got a few signers from Virginia. signers. Oh, Miller's going to be an answer. Nope, no Millers. we need a few declaration signers from Virginia. I think we need a few declaration signers from there. Yes, I think we did get Blount, one of the football player names. Anderson. No, you know what? It's funny. There's really no one with Swedish sounding last names. I always want to do Jackson. Definitely was a secretary to the Constitutional Convention, but we need the secretary to the Continental Congress. He was there for like 15 years. Should not be forgotten. Martin, I guess technically a football player name. I think we got Livingston. We'll type it in anyway. You really showed up and got all the pressure put on you, didn't you? Didn't you, Misfit? Green, nope. He was a general in the war, but never served in the executive branch. Johnston, we got. Again, this is really specifically the legislative branch. Thompson. Thompson, no P. Yes, Matt. Thank you. Would have been really sad not to get Charles Thompson. Not Thompson. Thompson. Robinson. I think we got Robinson. Let's see. New York. We're kind of naked in New York today. We're doing pretty good in Massachusetts. Better than usual. Oh, right. Did we do right? We did right? Nope. Okay. Oh, New Jersey we're doing pretty good in too. Baker? Maybe with a... Nope. Don't know how to spell. Got it. Oh, Maryland. We're doing really good with Maryland today. Lansing. There's a good one we don't have. Lansing. Okay. Who... Oh, John Lansing... almost gave it away. John Lansing walked away... Okay, Ashley, you beat me to it. Yates. John Lansing and Robert Yates, his mentor, left the Constitutional Convention after 6 weeks because they did not like the Constitution and went back to New York to talk to Governor Clinton about how terrible it was working out over there. And Robert Yates is probably the person who wrote the Essays of Brutus that I've been covering each Friday. And of course, I've been writing about each Friday and we'll talk about on Sunday when I do my weekly wrap-up. Of course. We just did Brutus number 9, so we've been doing Brutus for more than 2 months. McKean, good one, if I spell it right, that is. McKean. Oh, we must have done it already. Still a good one. Yes, no, New York. Okay, what else can I say to remind you of people? We have 2 minutes, and we are still just about 18 short. Randolph, I think we did. Roberts, I don't know if that is one. Mitchell, I don't think Mitchell is one either. But these are good guesses because they're pretty common names, and common names can't hurt. Galloway, I think we did get Galloway. Like I said, you came out a little late, Misfit, which is fine. You came in just in the nick of time to help us out. I'd like to see us at least get to 150. Pendleton, did we do that? I think we did Pendleton. Ward, good one. Ginger. Collins, I think we did Collins. Yeah, it's okay. We definitely got to get to 150. Stone, yes, absolutely. Oh, we must have done it already. I'm even forgetting what we did. Stone. What are other objects? There's at least one other object that you clean a floor with. Low. Absolutely. Good one. That's at least one. You clean the floor with this guy's name. Hughes, I think we did. Cushing, we definitely did. William Cushing. I really drained Cushing into you guys a few weeks ago, which I'm glad. He's a gigantically important person. Few. We did few. What do you sweep the floor with though? I feel like this is an easy hint. Burmis, you can even get sweep the floor with. Noun. oh, stalled out. Oh man, I'm really having you guys think. Hooper, not what I sweep the floor with, but it works. Mop, no, come. You know what, Matt? Somehow I knew that you were gonna say that, and it's wrong. And my cat's destroying my spouse's shirt down there. Broom, there it is. Burmis, you're still here. Thank you so much. Now, Jay Burmis over at your YouTube channel, Jason Burmis. I know some of you found me through him. We're running low on time, so I'll give him a shout out in 1 second. Hosmer Murphy. Nope. And that is that. Okay, listen, not the best in the world, but for most of the time it was just 3 of us. And again, just 2 weeks ago we couldn't get to 150. So the fact that it was basically 3 people and then at the very end, Misfit jumped in to help save the day and get us up to 150. So thanks for showing up, Misfit. Pretty good in the end. Yeah. So 62%, very good. Pretty good, but no one remembers second best. That's not very nice. Big shout out to Jason Burmis. If you like modern politics and the well, I don't know how to say it, Burmis. It would be probably classified as a conspiracy theory channel. Sorry, dude. I know you don't feel that way. But if you are interested in that, and as I said, I know many of you found me through him in the first place. If you are interested in alternate views of modern politics, check him out there. Again, over here, we don't talk about modern politics, but Burmis has been extremely nice in not only helping me learn how to use this software and set up my channel, but has been nice enough to have me on his show on several occasions. So thank you, Jason. You're the best. I hope the snowstorm in Iowa is fine. And thank you all for playing. Let's do a quick run through. Again, it was a little bit of a strange day, not as many people as usual, and I'm sure Misfit would have gotten a lot of these had she been here a little earlier. Again, thank you for coming just in the nick of time anyway. I'm not trying to be rude in any way, Misfit. You are the best. George Mason, that's a name we know. Our weekly cat opening the door in a really creepy manner for us. We got a lot of them. Carter Braxton, that name always sticks out to me. I don't know why. John Harvey, friend of Thomas J. George Mason is one we should probably remember. Griffin actually shows up twice for Virginia. So someone remember Virginia next week. Ginger, that's on you because your name starts with a G. Ginger Griffin. Okay? That's what we'll do each week. Just like I gave Matt Matthews so he can remember, we'll give each person one more name to remember. Ginger, you're Griffin. Write it down. Arthur St. Clair, that's a pretty big name. We should probably remember that. I think we usually get St. Clair. Dwayne, that's one I was trying to hint at. These guys I like, Borum and Wisner, they influenced the channel. William Dewar essentially single-handedly collapsed the economy just as the American Revolution was taking off. Francis Dana. Ashley, I'm going to throw that at you. Remember Francis Dana for us because really important. First person to go to Russia representing the United States, even though they didn't accept us there. Matt, I want you to remember Nathaniel Gorham. He was from Massachusetts. Everyone in this list here was. But he was chairman of the Committee of the Whole. So he actually sat in, essentially, I should say, as president of the Constitutional Convention for the same amount, if not more time, than George Washington was actually sitting in front of it. So Nathaniel Gorham, really interesting. Matt, if you want to take that one. Misfit, if you're still here, Theodore Sedgwick, really super interesting guy. He worked with Mum Betts, also known as Elizabeth Freeman, to prove that Massachusetts had actually already eliminated slavery based on their state's first constitution. And by pointing that out, essentially freed all the slaves in Massachusetts. By pointing out that, hey, you've actually already been freed. Hey, everyone, look at this. As did the judge who decided the final Supreme Court case, William Cushing, who we keep talking about. Did you say strong? Okay, I miss one every week. All right, I miss one every week. That's 52 then. We got 152 this week, which is still really impressive. We're only 12 shy of what we did last week. And we had a lot of, Troy wasn't here this week. I'm sure he'll be back next week, but, having that extra person in there certainly helps. Benson, the Rensselaer family, super wealthy. I'm hoping Jesse Sir Philippi will come back on and talk a little bit more about the Rensselaers in the next few weeks. Nathaniel Scudder, signed the Articles of Confederation, died in battle. Izzard, one that usually comes up for some reason. Agnes Burke, really interesting guy. He really did not like the Society of the Cincinnatus when it was formed because after the Revolutionary War ended and all these soldiers, all the people in the Continental Congress were doctors and lawyers and merchants and could go back to their wealthy jobs. And all the soldiers in the war were like, wait a minute, we're soldiers. What are we going to do now that the war is over? And they started the Society of the Cincinnatus, which was an hereditary and still is technically a hereditary organization where you have to be related to someone who was an officer in the Revolution to join. And Agnes Burke down in Georgia, I believe he was, he wrote a bunch of papers saying, no, they're trying to create nobility over here based on war service, and that's not acceptable. And he had a lot of fans who liked him. Both John Adams and Thomas Jefferson from overseas were really respected what he had to say. Cadwallader, that family's fun. John Hanson, a president of the Continental Congress. We didn't get any of the Worths. I didn't know how to put this out there, but we didn't get Ellsworth. We didn't get Wadsworth. We didn't get any of the other Worths. There are several Worths, and we are worthless today. Bloodworth, Timothy Bloodworth. Caesar Rodney. Ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh, Caesar Rodney. Hey, everyone, remember Caesar Rodney? Yeah, okay. We'll get him next week. I'm not going to harp on that one too much. That hurts. That hurts. Walton. Did someone say Walton? Did I miss Walton? Someone must have said Walton. Usually Walton comes up when we say, and there's two Waltons. But usually Walton I associate, even though this is Georgia and they're Connecticut, with Wolcott. I usually put Walton with Wolcott. Pierce. Someone said Pierce. Did I thought I typed it in. Are there two spellings of Pierce? Okay, so 153. We got 153 this week. Clearly I'm an idiot. Wentworth, another Worth. Marchand. We did get all the football players, though. We didn't get Houston or Houston probably either. All right, well, what are you going to do? These things happen. So, we just hit an hour. And that's me. I'm figuring out. Like I said, I want to buy a Stream Deck so I don't have to use my keyboard anymore and screw things up. So if you want to support this channel, definitely check out my Patreon page down below. Help me offset some of these costs because I'm still investing in this, trying to make this as good as I possibly can for you guys. So check that out. Also, it was an off week, Misfit. Yeah, there's a Pierce and a Pierce. I don't know. I mean, but I feel like I would have accidentally spelled it the right way, right? I'm not that bad at spelling. But either way, it was a pretty good one. We did good. We got a few names we don't usually get. We definitely got a few super randos in there, which is, amazing and fun. Thank you guys so much for your support and for watching the show. If you have any questions, save it for Sunday. I'll take questions any day of the week. You can hit me up on any of the social medias linked down below. You can email me directly, yada, 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 yada. But Sunday at noon, we will be doing our weekly wrap-up. Again, we've moved the weekly wrap-ups to Sunday at noon. And so from there, it would be a good opportunity then, and especially at the end of that, to have a lengthy conversation. If you have any real pressing questions you'd like for me to help you with. Of course, the wrap-up is going to be the 7 articles published this week on the website, founderoftheday.com. So if you want to get a head start on the weekly wrap-up, go to the website, link in the description, check it out. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashley, Matt, Ginger, Misfit for playing this week. Anyone else who's watching? Oh, Jay Burmis for coming and hanging out. Thank you so much, Brad. And again, thanks to Jay Burmis for helping me out. Just click on, probably his name will bring you there, Jason Burmis. Again, for the type of news you definitely won't hear on this channel. Thank you so much. I'm going to sign off for tonight. And what is our trivia? Oh, that's right. We sign off trivia with one of John Adams's properties, Peacefield. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Paul Revere was probably held up by the Redcoats. Yeah, we'll assume he was on the lengthier trip that was successful to the First Continental Congress. So thank you again, guys. You are the best, and I will be back on Sunday with our weekly wrap-up and Peacefield.